how's it going, Wes Barkley?
Hey, Worldwide. I'm good. How are you, bro?
I'm doing all right. You know what I've been thinking about lately?
No, what's been on your mind, brother?
Fucking Gorilla Monsoon.
Really?
Yeah.
Has it been happening?
It has been. And you know what's been happening?
What?
I've been thinking about how he was a pretty handsome guy.
Yeah.
All things considered. He was a monster of a man.
Sure. A gorilla.
living monsoon.
A gorilla, if you would.
But a very handsome guy. And you know what?
What's
Ask,
that?
ye shall receive, because Thrift Store Jobber, that's right, at Thrift Store Jobber, Instagram, Etsy, eBay, and etc. And that's right, at thriftstoreJobber.bigcartel.com. He's got the t-shirt for me and the t-shirt for y'all. It's Gorilla Monsoon, inside of a heart, I Love Lucy style, and then sleeve print, remember those?
Exclusive.
Sleeve print.
Exclusive.
Says Gorilla Monsoon inside of a nice little heart. It's black and white, and the price is right, $17.99. So hop on that boy, because he's going to be printing them, and then it's out.
And it's, what is it?
Worldwide.
A doozy. Thanks.
Oh, son of a bitch. Will you stop?
Doozy on 3.
Will you stop?
Welcome and thank you for tuning in to another episode of AIW's The Card is Going to Change. Before we get this week's episode started, we want to, of course, give a shout out to our sponsors that help us bring this show to you for free each and every week. Thanks to Pollyanna DIY, you can check out enamel pins and all sorts of fun things they've got going on there.
Midnight Express t-shirt.
Ooh, yeah, there you go. And also, of course, Angelo's Pizza, who helps keep us fed, and of course pizza available to you at our live events. And as always, check everything we've got going on at powerbomb.tv. You can
That's wrong.
It's not .tv?
No, it's independentwrestling.tv.
Yeah, they rebranded.
They rebranded.
Fuck my life.
Just keep going.
Just keep going.
independentwrestling.tv. You can check us out. Stream all of our past shows as they rotate in and out of that.
I'm not editing that out either. We're just gonna roll with it.
All right.
It's hard. It's hard getting, new year, new branding.
It is so much. We'll get these commercials
So
down
much change.
eventually.
Duke's still here though.
That damn right I am.
Well, yeah, you said it, so we'll get to that. On this week's episode, we're going to cover Hell on Earth, which happened back in November 2018. And boy, do we have a lot to cover there. There were so many things that happened before the show even took place, let alone the actual show. On this episode, you will hear the voices of the Duke, as already mentioned. The Bone Collector, Dominic Guarini, is here. Alex Worldwide Keller, likely to chime in. Of course, as always, AIW owner John Thorne. And my name is Steve Guy. I'm your moderator of sorts. So,
This is nice. We're back after a really long break. You know?
we recorded quite a bit.
breaking down the fourth wall. What is it? The third wall? The fourth wall? Breaking down the fourth wall. We haven't recorded since November.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Before Hell on Earth even took place. People really want to know more about the man known as Kaplan.
Yeah. Well, we decided to record a bunch of episodes to just get prepared for the holidays, and then
When he was done, did he just walk off into the fog?
Kaplan?
Out of the house. And
Oh yeah,
disappear.
I haven't seen him since.
I'm not surprised.
We have no clue if his body took to the new eye. We have no clue.
Yeah.
The new eye. I did not listen to the Kaplan podcast because I felt I've already lived it, so I didn't listen. to
Oh yeah,
it.
he's like blind in one eye now, and he was getting another human eye like implanted into his eye so he could see.
Oh, hopefully that's not evil.
That's what he was saying.
Yeah, it could go into his brain and take it over.
That's what he was saying. So, yeah, it's been a while since we had to do this. I had to dust off the podcast equipment.
Do it like the old Nintendo? Did you have to like blow in and everything?
Yeah, this is working so far so good.
Yeah, well, good. Well,
Mr. Whiskers is eyeing up Worldwide like he stole something.
you gotta watch out for Whiskers. Well, let's start.
You're gonna get a pounce in about two minutes.
We'll start with the week of. We had to have plenty of replacements, and people always want to know that. The first, of course, was All Ego Ethan Page.
Well, see, the replacements happened sporadically as the event was developing.
Yeah.
David Arquette had been locked down for months.
Oh, that's true. That was our original.
And this was something that I had been working on for, I would say, whenever David Arquette started wrestling again, I started getting the wheels. Actually, last year at WrestleMania weekend is the first time I asked him when we met him at that
bar.
at that weird bar. And then he started wrestling again, and I started kind of sending feelers out. And I guess him and Magnum CK struck up a friendship somehow through like Twitter DMs or something. And so this was in the works for a while. And finally, we set everything. And booking, I don't know how it is for everyone in the book Dave Arquette, but this time in particular for us, it was like such a strange situation because it's like I was trying to talk to him direct, and then it turned into some other promoters were involved, and then we had to deal with like his assistants, and then everything had to go through his wife, and we were like going back and forth. Like I have like David Arquette's like a photocopy of his license in my email somewhere. Like instead of like being a wrestler that sends like here's my name and date of birth, like I just got the full David Arquette license photocopy. So there's like assistants involved and wives involved.
Yeah, he wants to make it legal. He wants to fill out that W-9 so he can get his 1099.
I don't even know who he's married to anymore. I was just
It's
thinking
not Courtney Cox. That's all I know for sure. Yeah.
I always just think of him being with Courtney Cox. Like
Yeah.
they never ended.
I believe her name's Christina Arquette, something like that.
So
she's in my email.
Do we think the David Arquette cancellation was legitimate? Because didn't he say he was injured and then he ended up working a show in between?
Well, no. Okay, so I think it was legit, but it was a multitude of things. So the first thing is he signed on to do a movie, which was not set to film for a while, and then the filming dates ended up being on our dates. Then he also got injured. Then I'm trying to think how the timeline of this because it's been a while.
He was supposed to be out longer than what he was.
He was supposed to say he had like elbow surgery or hurt his elbow or
Yeah,
something,
which he
and then
did.
he ended up doing a show like a week before Hell on Earth or something like that. I thought.
Yeah, he did, but it was a show that ended up booking later because I think he canceled on multiple bookings.
Yeah, he did, and so
Because of the yellow.
I think so. He got injured, but then also there was this thing came up where he was contracted to do a filming.
Which was in Youngstown.
But the film was local, so
it was in Youngstown.
Yeah,
Not
but
to tell him his business, but could he have made it?
I don't know. I'm not.
I'm
not a-
something with insurance on that. Where
Yeah.
he can't do a certain amount of physical activity while filming.
I'm not a movie star. I don't know what the scheduling is. Like he could have been doing a night shoot or something. But to his credit, no wrestler ever does anything like this. Because the flight was bought. Obviously, no promoter is ponying up the extra $60 or whatever it is for the flight insurance. No problem. The guy, obviously, he's probably a millionaire, but he sends the money back to all the promoters who pitched in on his flight. Cut a promo explaining the situation to everybody, for everyone, for each of the promotions he canceled on to send out. So, I couldn't really be that mad at him. I still would really love to book him. I'm glad I didn't, spring for all that Scream merchandise to get autographed and flip on eBay. But so that was like the first thing, and I thought, I thought that David Arquette was gonna draw like a motherfucker. So like that was like a serious fucking bummer.
Yeah. So we find that out, and then we find out that. Then go back to Ethan Page. We find out we can't use him.
Well, that's like the week of, I think.
I think everything else was the week of.
Yeah. So something happened. Like I don't know. Like if TNA just decided that they were gonna run a show randomly or something
In
I
Mexico.
think it was Mexico. They had tapings.
They had tapings in Mexico.
Yeah. I don't know what happened, or if he had just resigned, or I can't really remember. But TNA ends up pulling him off. Like pretty close, or I think what it was is he was kind of off TV and just doing nothing, and somebody got injured, and because the tapings were already happening, and I think somebody got injured, and they were like, oh, we have Ethan Page signed to a contract, let's we better just get him, and
Because I think that's when he did the thing with.
Because he was just always like Chandler Park up until this taping.
I think that's when Seidel got hurt, or when Seidel was getting hurt, where like he was in the process of being hurt, so they had to have someone to like be his muscle to wrestle Willie Mack and Rich Swann. So it ended up being Ethan Page.
Yeah, so he ends up canceling.
So then on top of all that too, I don't remember if it was to replace him or
It was.
so
this was the match that Thorne had booked to kind of replace Arquette.
was Ethan Page.
No. He
This
was
is the
in
one
my
I'm
match.
gonna talk.
He was in my match.
Got it. So then
four-way.
the one we were going to replace David Arquette with was Tracy Smothers.
Correct.
And then we lose Tracy Smothers.
Which I know I kind of left it on a cliffhanger because the message I got from Tracy Smothers was like pretty troubling. Like I thought it was like somebody's gonna have to go check on him, and if he's not heard from in a couple days, kind of message. And I don't know really. Like I guess he took offense to some of the online promotion that MJF was doing, heading the, like kind of pushing the match. And I know Dom knows a little bit more about this.
Yeah. So I was actually on a show with Max the night.
Maxwell,
the night that it all kind of the promotion started happening. So Thorne announces the match, and Maxwell posts on Facebook calling Tracy an old man. Well, Maxwell gets a message from a mutual wrestling friend, and he says, "Yo, you messed up." And he's like, "What? I'm just promoting the match." He goes, "No." He goes, "There's one thing you don't call Tracy, old." He goes, because he gets really defensive about it, and he's super sensitive about being old. So from what we were told, everything that he was calling Maxwell was coming straight from the heart. He wanted to kill Maxwell.
Yeah, and he sent him like a message directly that said, "I'll show you old motherfucker," or something
yeah, it
like
was
that.
something along those lines. And then
Wow.
Max is freaking out because he thinks that Tracy Smothers is going to shoot on him. I mean,
Or shoot him.
Yeah, and I don't know. So, and I don't know if like Tracy just got like upset about it or what, or I don't know what happened. But he sent me a message that was basically like, "I'm retiring from the business. I'm done. I'm not taking any bookings anymore. Don't contact me," sort of thing. Like I'm done with the business. And I was just like, I hope you reconsider. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
he never responded to me. And so I was like,
all this on Thanksgiving night, by the way.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, because it was like literally
Yeah,
like
the show's the day after Thanksgiving, yeah.
It's not surprising that Tracy has a button because he's a pretty weird dude, but I'm surprising that it's old. That he's because I mean
that one.
you can't. It's one thing you can't have any control over is that. So I don't know.
It happens.
I mean, unless you got a nice supply of like adrenochrome, and old Tracy, he might have spent too much money on the helicopters. Not
Well, the
enough on
helicopters. Well, that
adrenochrome.
keeps his knees fresh, so he
Yeah.
doesn't have to walk as far. Yeah, exactly.
X-Ball should have worried about him coming in with an Apache helicopter.
yeah. So this is like Tracy cancels like 10 p.m. or something on Thanksgiving. Like I'm doing like I'm at my like family thing, just like hanging out. I think watching like Home Alone or something, and
Shocker.
relaxing after some mashed potato sandwiches.
Are you bad talking Kevin McAllister over there?
No, I'm saying I'm surprised. I'm not surprised he was watching it.
Okay.
So then I'm like, fuck, like, what am I gonna? This is like, Arquette was a marquee thing. This MJF Tracy Smothers was a marquee thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, LA Park and Gage was still on, but like, even that, like, even then, that almost falls through, which I just remembered. But so I'm freaking out, and I'm talking to Swoggle, and I'm seeing, I'm like, I look at flights, from where he's from, and it's like pretty much exactly the same as it always is, and it's like the day of. So like I'm blowing him up, and like he's not, we kind of break that down last week on the podcast, but like he wasn't getting back to me, until he doesn't finally get back to me till the morning, and I buy a flight like day of, sort of thing, and then so this show was the last show at Mount Carmel was feeling a little cursed on top of
Everything with Mount Carmel.
everything with Mount Carmel that was going on,
On
which
top of Magnum CK too.
Which we'll get to that I think as we get to his match.
because there was a small,
Truly, it was a hell on earth for
Yeah.
John Thorne.
It really
Truly.
was.
because there was a part of me that thought that we were going to show up and they were just going to be like, no. You know what I mean? Because like they had spoke to Pedro and I checked with him that week and Pedro was like, the guy assured me that we can do this one. But I was like, if they are so mad about wrestling, like I even said like to the guys doing the ring crew, I said, try to get there earlier than usual because if something's going to happen, I want to know early. So if we got to try to put something together with a last minute building, like we could give it a shot. Like I'd contacted another venue just to see if it was available, and I did have a hold on it, just in case, because I really did think that Frankie Flynn or whoever was going to go get the keys to unlock the place, and they were going to be like, no, you guys can't do it.
Well, thankfully, they didn't say that. We got there. The place was packed. So many people showed up, despite there being no David Arquette. They were ready, I think, immediately to see L.A. Park take on Nick Gage and, in general, to see L.A. Park. But what happened there, John?
Well, I'll say, okay, so then, like, you got to book all these luchadors kind of through, like, middlemen and stuff like that. So, and everybody communicates in the Lucha Libre community on this app called WhatsApp, which is like you could send voice messages back and forth. And it works on Wi-Fi. I think that's why they do it. So I get like a message in the morning like, hey, bro, have you heard from La Park? And I'm just like, no, like, you're the guy. You're the La Park guy. Like, I don't know. Like,
Have you heard from La Park?
he's like, oh, man. He's like, I woke up to all these crazy text messages that said that they're stuck in traffic and they don't think they're going to make their flight. And
There's traffic in Mexico?
apparently, and he's like, they sent him like photos of the traffic, and like he sent it to me. He's like,
traffic.
Stock footage.
and he's like, did you hear anything? I'm like, no, dude. Like, so I'm calling the airline. I'm trying to find out if these fucking guys got on the flight, and it's like some weird Mexican airline, of course. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm trying to figure all that out. Like, and the
Did you
guy's
do what
like,
every person that doesn't speak Spanish does, talk really slow and put O at the end of all your words when you're trying to explain it to them?
no.
No.
I was under a high stress situation, man, and because everything was going wrong with this show, and the guy that I'm dealing with, he's like, well, I haven't heard from him, so like, let's just assume they got on the flight. And I'm like, dude, I'm not assuming anything.
Yeah.
Like, I want to know for sure that they're coming, and finally, like, I got through to somebody, and they were like, oh yeah, that this flight, these guys checked in. So I was like, so they're on the flight? And they're like, yeah, it looks like it. So I was
All
like,
right.
well, at least
Are there two
they're on.
guys with masks on the plane right now?
Yeah.
Yes, there are.
So yeah, it was just kind of like a total fucking clusterfuck.
So then we open doors, and we're getting ready, and we're doing this signing.
Right. Okay. Fuck. So
Keep in mind also, folks, by the way, we were asked to book his son with him. So there were already things that we had to go through, like different things we had to do to acquiesce.
yeah,
Two.
so it's like two flights, and
Yeah.
then it's I had to fly them to Cancun, in which that other promoter was just like, no, I'm not throwing in on it, and like, which I have a feeling of what happened is like the other promoter did throw in on it, but he just gave that money to La Park, who did not give it to me, sort of thing, because I was like, hey, can I like get this? You know what I mean? Like, it was a lot of money in flights. You know what I mean? Because they didn't come from like Mexico City. They came from some like weird town I never heard of. Like, it was like BJX or something was like the airport code, I think, or something like that. So they had to go from there to Cleveland to
There's-
Cancun.
Baja, California, which
That's
is like
San Diego. That's underneath San Diego, though.
Yeah, they
that's
came out of
Mexico,
Mexico.
though. So
Maybe
yeah, I think it was a B and a J,
It was
yeah.
something with a B or an X. That's all I know. So anyway, you know what I mean? Like, part of this deal that I negotiated was, like, I have to do these two flights. It's very expensive. La Parca himself is a pretty extraordinary fee, which is understandable. He's one
Yeah.
of the biggest stars in Mexico right now. But so a part of this deal that I work out is, he'll do the meet and greet, in which, we will retain what comes in for the meet and greet to kind of offset all these additional flight costs. And every guy that we bring in is kind of like a different deal. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it's them keep, like sometimes like they want to go, like it's like halves, like so everything's a different deal. Like there's no set way that these meet and greets work. So, he goes out there, you know what I mean? There's, we have the 8x10s, which we have to incur that cost, you know what I mean?
Right.
And, he goes out there, they do a couple. Here comes Wes Barkley. He wants to talk to you. So I go up, and he speaks very bad English, and I'm trying to explain the situation to him, and he's saying, no. We get the middleman on the phone, and he's telling me like he wants the money, and I'm like, well, that's not the deal, you know what I mean, that we worked out. And he's like, well, he's gonna throw a fit, bro. And I'm like, dude, that's not the deal, like that is not the deal. So then he's like, well, he says he's not going back out, you know what I mean? And it's like we're going back and forth, and I'm like, dude, like I got all this stuff made, I bought these flights. And then he's like, well, he's saying that, now he's mad that you've produced things with his trademark image on them. And I'm like, dude, like this was all talked about in advance. Yeah. And like we are going back and forth. And like, that's why, somebody asked like what was going on with the meet and greet. It's like we're having to renegotiate all the terms of the booking, like right then and there. And he speaks no English really. And it's like we're passing a phone back and forth. And like finally, like I agreed, like finally I was like, fine, you know what I mean? Like we'll split it just to get it done with, because like as a promoter, like there's like you could stick to your guns, but at the end of the day, like people had already saw him, they saw that he was there, and like what, if he did not go back out, you know what I mean, like,
or if he refuses to even have a match,
and that's what I was scared of. Like he never really refused to have a match, but like that, I'm sure that was not outside the realm of possibilities,
right?
You know what I mean? So like at that point, it was kind of like I had to, the show hasn't started, the meet and greet hasn't even started yet. You know what I mean? Like people are in there, so it's like
there were two people deep, and then it's
like there was two exchanges, and then he went like, oh, hold on, and so it's kind of like one of those things where you got to pick your battles and go like, okay, like I'll give up half of this deal, that even though it was the deal that we discussed, I'm gonna give up half of it just to get people who want to meet him and get the show going, because it's like I don't know what other 8,000 problems are happening downstairs right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like I just kind of like and I hate doing that. Like I hate backing down in that situation. But it's like he was the main attraction on the show, and it's like sometimes you just have to pick your battles. And if I'd given up half the meet and greet or whatever, like whatever, I had to do that. And he took a tally for every single thing he did, and
they kept the tickets as well.
Yeah,
that we because people basically buy a ticket for what it is that they want to get, whether it's 8x10. Or the photo opportunity, or the combination. And he made Wes Barkley and whoever else was assisting him on this meet and greet. They had to keep every single ticket.
No, he kept it. He kept it himself. And then it was like,
and then he counted them out afterwards.
Well, then it was like he went to like the pay window and was like, okay, you owe me this. You owe me this much. All of a sudden, he understood everything once it turned out to how much money he was owed.
He did make Wes Barkley speak in Spanish to count money denominations.
All the way to what?
They definitely were up into 100 for sure.
I couldn't go that far.
Well, Wes Barkley was able to do that?
I can't
Wes
count to
Barkley's
100
a
in
college-educated
Spanish.
young man.
Well, I know that, but that doesn't mean
but
you take
that doesn't mean I can
Spanish.
speak Spanish.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Worldwide's over here trying to see how high he can go right now. Let us know when
Focus
you get
on English numbers first, Worldwide.
So it's like, like let's just let's just be done with it, and and move on, and like I'm dealing with the Magnum thing. Not to throw your business out there, Worldwide, but Worldwide comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, my brother is probably gonna die, right?" And I'm like, "Fuck!" Like, it's like,
that was fucking. I mean,
You had your own hell on earth that week.
tell you about. I don't deal with the holidays well at all in the least. And then earlier in that week, we got the news about Magnum. And I was like, oh, that sucks. He's got to retire. And I was all emotional about that. And then, like, all of a sudden, like, a day later, it's like, well, you guys are getting strapped up. And I was like, fuck. Because, appreciate it, but also not ready for it and not deserving it and, like, a million other things.
but you said you wanted to wrestle him one last time, and it's like,
Yeah, that is true.
there was a plan for Trey and Chase, but Trey kind of fucked up in Akron, so
Yeah.
it's like the crazy like.
Do ring crew. It goes a long way, guys.
Well, it's not even that, but it's like everyone wants to know about the big booking meeting and the big, the big plan and the script and everything else. Like, it's more a matter of circumstances than anything else. There was the stuff, there was the stuff with Trey, and then
That's true for some stuff, probably. I mean, some stuff you're going to make happen as much as you can.
let's be
Other stuff, you're just going to go with whatever you
This is like
feel.
Thorne's got like a list of post-its that he just pulls off a wall when something goes wrong and just throws it away at this point. That's pretty much how that week went, especially with that tag title situation, because there was 100 different ideas that you came up with.
That's what I mean. For something that's not,
but like
top level main event type stuff,
Well,
you're going to
even-
roll with the punches.
Well, even then, though, a lot of it is like circumstances. Because at one time there was a plan to where the Weird World was going to cash in Mania weekend. That was a dual plan. It was get them their spot, but also maybe they're in and out in front of a crowd that's not used to them, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then then all this happened with Magnum, and it's like, well, these guys got this title shot. Let's do it. I came up with this idea to kind of swerve and everything else, but
It was the idea of, well, Magnum just won, and the Weird World are the good guys, and we don't want the crowd to boo the Weird World, so, you had to come up with an idea that worked, well enough that the crowd still would feel the empathy towards Magnum, but also still, love the Weird World.
yeah, you really broke it all down there. But yeah, so anyway, after this La Park stuff happens, LA Park, La Parka, however the fuck you say it properly. So like, I look at Weird World and I look at Worldwide and he looks like he's seen a ghost. I'm like, you all right, man? Like, I'm giving him like the everything's gonna be you're gonna be fine thing, and he just goes, my brother's about to die, I think, and I'm like,
Yeah, like 2
What?
hours before
Like,
the show started.
what the fuck? And
And you and Carson, I mean, I was already doing it, but you guys were like outside while I was out dealing with this, and they're like, you just gotta put your phone away, dude. And they're like, that's what I did. I just fucking told my family, I'm like, don't hit me up for the next 2 hours and let me know what the fuck happens.
because I know that you were already feeling
Some type of way.
stress from the like the pressure or whatever you want to
Oh,
call
yeah.
it of like winning a championship or whatever, you know what I mean? Like whatever like weird thing happens to a wrestler when that happens, and then then this happens, and I'm like, oh my god, like this is a disastrous like combination right now, and
Yeah.
like.
So if anyone noticed me not being like the most jolly and insanely fun guy at the after party or even after the win,
I honestly had no idea. So,
yeah, there's a lot of people that like didn't find out for like a while.
Thorne told me at the after party about an hour or so into it, so you were fine as far as I could tell.
Yeah, because I also had people babysitting you at the after party, making sure you didn't full on lose your mind.
No, I was pretty. I mean, it's something we've been expecting for years, but obviously that doesn't prepare you for it at all. But no, I was fine at that show, like compared to how I was the next month, and that's a whole other fucking can of worms. But
Yeah, I mean, so I guess
emotional night.
what? Yeah,
Very
like
emotional.
what goes through what goes through your mind at that point? Like,
I mean,
were you ready to just leave? Like,
no, I wasn't ready to leave. I mean, I was gonna get it done and all that shit. I mean,
if we already had the belts and we were supposed to drop them or something, then it's family emergency.
Kevin,
Might have had to have,
Always working.
he could die at
Always
any minute.
working.
I gotta go, guys.
No matter what.
Can't drop these boys. But
Kevin Nash heart attack, huh?
yeah. But no, I kid. But no, that was actually our running joke after fucking we won them. I was like, this is where the weird world starts actually really like pounding pavement and hitting other territories. Every time AIW runs, we're like, oh, we got this weird booking in Georgia. Gotta go. But alas. But I don't know. It was fun. Like there was a point in time in the night where like I was like just in my head, and like it was after we won, and like I fucking like finally I just like pulled Weird Body aside and like pulled Weird Body aside and like grabbed the bev, and I was like, hey man, take a bunch of stupid pictures of us with these fucking titles. Gotta throw it out there. And like, that sort of like got me like a little bit back into like that moment versus like whatever the hell was happening like 400 miles away.
Yeah, going into the match, then once you put your phone away, did it help serve a little bit of a distraction for you because there's so much to concentrate on?
I mean, it was a hot 4 to 6, so there wasn't that much to concentrate on. But I don't know. And then like I don't know. I like told Magnum in advance. I'm like, I'm pretty sure you're gonna have like everyone out on the ramp and shit after our match, and you're like giving your going away speech, and I just don't want you to be offended, but I'm gonna be just pounding vodka in the basement because I got some shit on my mind. And he was like, dude, 100% okay. Da 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 da. And yeah, hugged it out with him, and it was cool.
And is that what you did? Did you pound vodka in the basement?
Yeah, I definitely hit one of the couple of Tito's vodkas that we had fabed in the basement. And yeah, it was a good time. And I don't know. It was definitely a thing, and it happened.
Like, did it make you feel any better or nothing?
Honestly, well, I mean, we can get into this more in the next episode, but like, I fucking like it. Kind of almost like, sort of like. I mean, if like the thing with my brother hadn't happened, it's still like is a toss up over how it would have made me feel.
Right.
Because like it like didn't feel like. I mean, afterwards, after I won it, I fucking like grabbed like Philly in the basement, and I was like, you guys fucking work for this shit way fucking harder than us. Like, fucking, and you guys are like a way more bust ass tag team. And I just want to let you know that I can't wait for the day that you guys fucking have these things. And like, cause like, I just honestly like fucking, I mean, I'm not the best pro wrestler at all. In ring, bell to bell, like, whatever. And like, so for the position I was at, so then like to win a title, like it just like almost made me feel like a fucking fraud in a way. And like, in like a way that like, I wasn't expecting. Like, for example, like I knew like there was a possibility of like Mania and like, taking them at Mania for like, a weird, just fucked up thing to happen. And I was ready for that because I was like, oh, after the new year, I'm fucking hit training board, do this, do that, da da da. And then all of a sudden it's like, here they are. And I was like, I don't fucking deserve this.
And it's like I said, it's just those circumstances that came together.
It was the thing that made the most sense. And I mean, and I appreciate it fucking to death, like regardless, and it's like fucking sick. But like at the same time, like it was like, I don't know. It's been established in the past that I don't handle success very well. And success is very relative for me. So
Sometimes there's a lot of things you don't handle very well, though.
But like, you say like it made you feel like a fraud. Do you think that? And I mean, if we have to cover the rest of this show at the next episode, that's fine. I don't care. Because sometimes if you got something going like this, you just got to roll with it.
Yeah.
But like, you say like it made you feel like a fraud. Do you think that not so much a fraud, but do you think like maybe it was more of like a wake up call to you in the fact that like
there was
you
a
have,
sense
you have been like you've been living the life of the pro wrestler. You know what I mean? But like you haven't been living the life of a pro wrestler. Like it was kind of like there was times where I felt like, and not specific to you, but I feel like there's times where guys like to say that they're pro wrestlers, and like they like the idea of like saying like, hey, I'm a pro wrestler, and like this is, like it's a good topic of conversation at the bar, but. It's like
I avoid it at the bar anymore.
But
these
like,
days,
and I'm saying it's not specific to you, but like, do you feel like maybe like subconsciously you felt like, oh shit, like this is like the real deal now?
if we're being honest, I've fucking been feeling that way for a while. Like, I mean, like, because I just like felt myself like, I don't know. Also, like, fucking like, you know, went on like antidepressants and like they've helped a lot. I mean, Weird Body will tell you, like, you know, if like the shit that happened to me, like, you know, last November, December happened a year before, it would have been a whole other fucking like nightmare of a story.
Right.
Like, I would have been like just on 1.8 billion versus just on one. And so they've helped, but like at the same time, like I'm still like adjusting to those. They've like added probably about like 10 or 15 pounds that I wouldn't really like around. Like, I like doing everything completely as I was.
Duke
And-
pointed that out.
Yeah, Duke called me. And fucking AJ Gray, you 229-pound piece of shit. But, yeah, because usually I'm around 220 to 229, and then it, like, just kept on climbing, and, like, now I'm, like, itching between, like, 230 and 240, depending on, like, shit, spit, and sweat. But yeah, so, like, I don't know, I've been adjusting to that, and that's even, like, adjusted, like, you know, just, like, moving around in the ring and shit, and it's just the difference of 10 pounds, so it's idiotic. And then on top of that, I mean, fuck, we'll just go into, like, you know, the aftermath of this shit. Like, I go out to Milwaukee the next week, you know, deal with, like, you know, pulling the plug, da-da-da-da, hanging out with family, this, that, all that shit. And then I come back, and, like, by that point in time, like, it had been, like, probably, like, 13 days since I'd last, like, lifted weights. And usually I'm, like, never, like, without, like, maybe there will be, like, a 2-day break here and there, like, without, like, lifting or anything. And then I just went back to, like, fucking lift back to biceps and, like, deadlifted, it was fine, did this, it was fine, that was fine. And then, like, all of a sudden, I was, like, on the third rep of, like, just standing, like, you know, dumbbell curls, and my back just shat right out of me. And, like, so then, like, I like, tried to fix it for a couple of days, and I went to the hospital, and they put me on a bunch of new fucking muscle relaxers, which just made me even more miserable than I already fucking was, because I hate them. But, and then, like, all of a sudden, like, you know, fucking working out, which, like, you know, is, like, one of the things that, like, helps keep me, like, sane
Mentally
as I
clear.
am.
Yeah.
And, like, I'll recommend it to anyone that can fucking do it. But that was taken away. So then I was, like, just, like,
Alone with your thoughts. sort
yeah,
of?
triply inside my head. And then I think I went on, like, a mini sabbatical around that point, which, like, then just, it was, yeah, shit got really incredibly dark and sucked real bad. But thankfully, I'm happy to report that came out on the other side of it, and pretty stoked now. But yeah,
Were you able to maintain your sabbatical?
well, I just I think I set like a short one or something.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm like on a pseudo sabbatical right now that I'm having a pretty good time with.
Duke looks ready to ask you something.
No, but I'll throw something in there. What's a pseudo sabbatical?
All right, pseudo sabbatical. The way I'm
Because either it counts or it doesn't count, right?
Well, here's the thing. I'm giving myself, it's like a flex sabbatical or a soft sabbatical because a soft sauce sabbatical because it started basically like, I don't know, like last Sunday, or I don't know, I'm on like day 11 of it, but like I want to take it to all the way to the end of February because, you know, that's a good couple of months to like just save some money and like, you know, go to the gym and not be at bars and shit because it's cold outside anyway, so fuck it. But also in the name of not driving myself insane, and also because I know there are like between like 2 and 5 like events that like I might want to drink at. Like, you know, I'm allowing myself like between 2 and 5 evenings in that like 55 days, like the option of like drinking.
so you got like 5 get out of jail free card, or
Yeah.
potentially
I think-
go to jail for free cards.
Yeah.
Potentially.
And I think I'm gonna cash one of those in a couple of days. There's a band coming through and have a good time with that. And then after that, next time I see it is probably my work Christmas party in early February, and then we got an event in February that I will after party at. Since
As long as Dr. Dan could find an after party that actually provides us with.
well, we'll have we might not get anything for free. We'll have a party.
is it fucking
somewhere
Akron again?
Yeah, it's February's in Akron. Don't you pay attention?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this question: as someone who, people might be surprised to know this or not, but as someone who also abhors the fact when he's alone with his thoughts because he goes to very, very dark places
I don't think it
as well.
surprises anybody.
what's the worst part about that for you?
It used to be, I don't know. It's like just generally like a fucking like just dim fucking hopelessness, like and like not to the point of like harming myself, like but like there's like definitely like like where I'll just start making some really weird just decisions with like interacting with like people and this and that, or like at work I'll just be like fucking folded into myself and like fucking like scary to like coworkers, like to a point like where it's like I think I'm like maintaining and like just being like doing my work and da 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 da, and everyone else is like, he looks like he's about to like fucking explode or cry at any second, and I'm just like, I thought I was normal, fuck. But I don't know, it'll like just go like, I don't know. I'm trying to keep this thing PG-13, so I'm not gonna go to some of the fucking hyper dark places.
Why
but-
start now?
It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
with all the fucks. Oh, well, I'm not trying to take a triple X with all the fucking dark places, but yeah, some fucking dark places.
I find it's easier for me to just become the Omega Man when it happens to me, and I just want everyone to just go away. I want to drive to work by myself. I want to go to work by myself. And then it just all just kind of collapses on top of me when I'm at home, and
People are pretty good about reaching out, and people have been also. I just want to take this opportunity to fucking thank everyone that like reached out or like fucking like helped out. I mean, I like wasn't proud of it, but I like missed like a week and a half of work, and I threw something out on Instagram and Twitter, and like people helped me out fucking immeasurably, helped like pay for a flight and like this and that from like missed work and shit, and like you didn't have to, and that shit fucking still blows my mind.
Well, helping to pay for a flight when somebody is in real need and has a family situation going is a lot better than a Kickstarter for a concert
These, I
ticket.
was gonna say, these are kind of the appropriate reasons to set up GoFundMe accounts and not for concert tickets.
Well,
or
I'm gonna
to,
need your,
to help me
I'm
move,
gonna- I'm
to
gonna
help me
need your-
move to Orlando or to do, to do other stuff like that.
Who did
Oh,
That's debatable.
the concert ticket?
who did the concert tickets? The potato?
Yeah, potato.
The used.
The
Yeah,
used,
he had to see the used. Show him that fucking tattoo.
Poor potato. He's going through a rough time.
You should have just like tweeted him that photo over and over again until they gave him a fucking free ticket.
What's he selling these days? I know it's not cars.
He's back at Verizon.
Direct TV, actually.
Oh, DirecTV, that's right.
Call center?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
I
But
was down in what was
Is he
it?
still doing the newspaper delivery job?
we're not going off on a potato fucking down rant, okay?
It's my sad time, not potato's sad time. God damn it!
Well, we empathize.
Yeah, that's
with
it.
you, we don't necessarily with potato.
Yeah.
So.
But
Well, like I said, I'm gonna need your tax help next year.
We're all booked up.
When I get my I'm gonna get this super PAC together for my presidential run. in
Oh
2020,
yeah,
and,
we are definitely all booked up.
You're going to do taxes?
Well, no, I'm gonna need fucking tax help for the super PAC that's gonna get
You're gonna
started
se-
for
you're
my
gonna
2020 run.
You're gonna send me to my dark place worldwide. I don't know if I want to go there that early in 2020.
Duke has a hard enough time making my taxes work, all right?
I guess you don't want
I
to
gotta make
spot in
a-
the cabinet.
I have
Real
a
cool.
hard enough
All right,
time
I was ready to
making-
reach across the aisle.
I have a hard enough time making it work for people that pay. So
Hey,
But
brother,
we're getting paid.
no, I'm not talking about the guy to my right.
He's talking about
He's like-
paying to do taxes.
hey, man, I'd let you live your dreams. I pay you in dreams.
Oh, is that what it is?
Frenching on the rails.
Coming up a little short.
I pay you in dreams.
Where else are you going to get to French on the rails?
Pretty much wherever you want, Steve Guy. If you can find a willing partner.
Well, that's the tricky part.
Yeah, that's tricky.
Tell me about
It's
it.
tricky.
Dark place.
Yeah, so I was a little, we'll probably wrap this one up and just get to Hell on Earth another time
Right.
soon, but
Wait, we have a show. What?
This was
Yeah.
the hell
on what
Earth.
now?
but
Well, yeah. Wait, some other matches haven't.
we'll get to
We
that.
didn't get to any matches. don't
But
worry.
yeah, I was specifically pretty worried about you, but I know I kind of sent you some things and trying to spring you out of it, and give you some advice.
Yeah.
But sometimes I feel like when and I've noticed it, over the years of knowing you, is like sometimes it's like when you get in that place, it's like, all doom and gloom or nothing. It's like the only thing you want to comment on is an additional bad thing that could potentially happen to you.
Oh yeah, it's peaks and valleys.
Which is it's all valleys, I think, for you.
It's valleys and deeper valleys.
chasms.
which is
Trenches.
when we get to welcome to the party, pal. That was I think you were in a valley and you were trying to pull things on top of you. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, we'll get there.
You were in one of your more epic of just total like I don't even know what how to
Probably the
describe
most dismal I've ever been at an AIW show in the history of me being at AIW shows.
A funk is not strong enough of a term.
Yeah, it was, but there was a point in time where, I was like, man, I don't know if he's ever gonna snap out of this one. And then, I saw you at UXWA last week, and everyone's like, oh man, Worldwide's in the best mood of his whole life.
It was. We can get to that.
Razor sharp. That's why.
You feeling
Hanging out
good?
with the sharp.
You feeling good now?
I think feeling that good. No, but I feel great. Fucking went to training a couple days later.
Yeah, back's feeling better for sure.
Oh,
right?
back's feeling amazing. Let me tell you people something. People spend all this goddamn money on chiropractors and shit. Couple back bumps, fucking straight as fucking arrow. I'm good to go.
You're the only person I think on earth that enjoys to take bumps.
Just back bumps.
Just back bumps. So what do you what made you in such a good mood at the UXWA?
I don't know. I just, was able to sleep.
Because usually you dread any sort of ring rental operation or like non-AIW operation.
UXWA is pretty stress free. Because also we're in control of it versus other ring rentals where it's another company that maybe never makes any sense and only serves to fucking enrage and make you fucking despise anyone that enjoys or participates in pro wrestling. I don't know what companies do that we rent rings to, but it happens.
So you were ready for Razor Sharp at UXWA.
I want nothing more. No.
Speaking of,
Who can be
interrupt
prepared?
for just one
All
second.
I want to do on this earth is be in a nice 6-man tag against Razor Sharp. And I
Against
wanna
or
fucking-
with?
Against.
Against? Okay.
Yeah, I want him getting that hot tag, and I'm
But
fucking-
I know.
He turned heel. So
I know.
Wait, whoa. The ultimate babyface Razor Sharp turned heel?
he did. And
I am stunned. I'm legitimately stunned by that, number one.
I know a lot of people don't know what we're talking about out there, but we do help out with
We're drumming up business.
a local promotion, UXWA, in which we rent the ring to them and stuff, and they have myself and Dom book the cards for them. Other than the promoter, Razor Sharp gets full creative control over everything he does.
So he didn't clear this with anybody to turn.
He did it on the fly. He
Did it on the fly?
He did it on the fly.
What a pro! That dude is a straight up pro. And he could take that crowd that he has in the palm of his hand right here, and on the fly go. You know what? I'm screwed. I'm turning. And did it work? Did it work?
I don't know. I wasn't
Because
there
I wasn't
yet.
there. So
I got there late. I missed it. But so from what I was told is there was a little situation, whatever, and he's now teaming with Wes Barkley and Josh Bishop, and they were like, we should go get him. And then he was like, no, because they're baby faces or whatever. And then I guess Razor Sharp, they were near the entranceway, and Razor Sharp goes, you know what? Go get him. And then he turned heel.
And then
Wow.
so they go out and they attack PME, who are
Wes Barkley and Josh.
Wes Barkley and Josh,
Okay.
champions, one of the most over acts, on the show. And Razor Sharp comes jolly strolling out.
He was the
and-
third man. Is
He
what
was
you're
the third-
about to tell
yes.
me. He was the third
Yes,
man.
he was the third man. But they hit a choke slam on Marino, and then Josh pins him, and Wes Barkley counts the fall. And Razor Sharp comes out and just hands Wes and Josh the tag titles.
Well, yeah.
So
I mean, yeah,
So
of
Razor
course.
Sharp, I'm watching this from the announcer's table, and I go to the back, and Razor Sharp's got the most guilty little smile on his face. I go, Razor, you just turned heel, buddy. He goes, yeah, I know.
Oh, he knows.
It's funny you said the third man, because at the UXWA after party, Razor Sharp was comparing his turn. He said the only other turn comparable to this, Hulk Hogan.
And you don't believe that?
Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen.
You don't- I believe that for
He
a
said
second.
he said it
I
was
mean,
the most shocking turn since Hulk
My
Hogan.
face. I can't believe he just told me he turned heel.
UXWA, Ultra Extreme Warrior Association,
It's something else.
Now,
I think that's what it's
getting
for.
back to what I wanted to mention. I don't know. I know I know you don't watch football, and worldwide, I don't know if you watch football.
I watch the Browns reality show on
Have you
HBO.
watched the playoffs where they're using Razor Sharp's music for commercials for the playoffs?
It's a Nike commercial.
Is it a Nike commercial?
think-
I thought it's an NFL
I
commercial.
think You Ain't Ready has been on like every like.
Yeah.
Hey,
team
I thought that's-
playlist
I
for
thought
years.
what point-
First of all, I'm never ready.
At what point
but,
the Browns used to come out
Well,
to it?
let's remember Razor
Hold
Sharp's
on,
theme is
hold
custom.
on, hold on. Yeah, I thought it's a
Oh, it
custom.
is custom, but it's the
beat.
It's
You're talking
it's
about
the beat.
Yeah, but it's not the Razor Sharp theme. You Ain't Ready for Razor Sharp is its own.
I understand
custom
that,
song.
but hey, when I'm at the bar or I'm at home watching the game, I pop when it comes on, and I'm looking around because I'm not ready.
No one's ready.
I'm gonna end it
Go
like
ahead, Thorne. Go ahead, Thorne.
I'm just gonna say I'm gonna end it like this, and I'm gonna hope that I can get the Razor Sharp's theme song, and I can edit it in right here, so we can just fade away
Oh, we can.
with the Razor Sharp
We're
theme.
not ready.
Jeff
We are
Traxler.
not ready.
We need it. You have it. I know you do.
We'll talk about the actual AIW show next week.
All right. Well, for everybody here, Duke, John Thorne, Worldwide Keller, Dom Guarini. My name's Steve Guy, and well, if we're ready, we'll talk to you next week.
You ain't ready. You ain't ready. You ain't ready for Razor Sharp. Hey yo, you better be ready for war when you step into this ring, and you better be ready for action if you know what I mean. Razor Sharp, cutting them down with the intention of making them bleed. And if he needs a helping hand, no, we can always call on Scheme. And I'ma be coming with a troop of my dogs. So many us up in this building ready to abuse y'all. So if you haters talking static, relax it or we gon' smash it. Scheme ain't taking no names, I just came to kick ass. And born and raised in the street of the CLE. I'ma represent the 216 until I DIE. I'm ready to give the whole world what they've been waiting to see. But just remember one thing, man, y'all ain't ready for me. You ain't ready. You ain't ready. You ain't ready for Razor Sharp. You ain't ready. You ain't ready. You ain't ready for Razor Sharp.
Time to bully up. Okay, with the razor line, our boys the Razor Sharp, and we not hard to find. In the middle of the rings where we'll be, wildin' out, acting crazy, holla bully, cross the stampede. Soon as I get a command charge, the title from their hands and give it to the hot boys. Razor man, the belt will never leave Razor hand. Long as bully breathing, so devious stand.
Yo, I'ma hit him with the chair.
I got the table, man. Flip off the rope, let the razor live. Okay. Take him to the point, call it the razor edge. Okay. You can go on penny just like Razor said.
You ain't ready. You ain't ready. You ain't ready for Razor Sharp. You ain't ready. You ain't ready. You ain't ready for Razor Sharp.